welcome to the Los Angeles edition, the LA edition of Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast. I'm DJ Crooked, Jamie the Great, DJ Neva, DJ D Miles.
Here.
We got the homie here, the legend, the man, one of the funniest dudes I've ever met on the wheels.
Mag Life.
Mr. DJ Spider, what's up, man?
What up, what up?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Does legend mean old?
No, it doesn't mean old.
What's good, fam?
Chilling, just glad to be here.
Nice.
It's Friday, you know, getting ready for the weekend.
Thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
So I know you from, Next on Decks? Was that the BPM magazine competition?
I think that was my introduction to a lot of other DJs. I mean, I had been DJing for 10 years when I entered that contest, I think. But once I won that was when I got to get out of LA more. And
that was like co-signed by Mark Ronson, right?
Yeah, basically it was like I just saw an ad in the magazine and it said send a mixtape in and you get to. I had always wanted to go to Winter Music Conference. Like I was a college radio DJ and I would hear everyone say, "Oh, Winter Music Conference, so dope for DJs and music and all this stuff." And I saw the ad in the magazine. It was like you get to go to Winter Music Conference and go on a U.S. tour with Mark Ronson. If we pick your mix. And I was like, all right, what do I have to lose? And I had been entering all these remember those Scion DJ contests, like the car.
Yeah.
So I would enter those all the time and we'd do pretty good. I won one of them with Steve Wonder, like a 2x4. It was like when we were still on vinyl.
Right.
And we got to open for like Pete Rock and Biz Markie or something.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But that was the one thing that came out of it. But so I remember seeing this and being like, all right, I'm just going to make a mix. I like Mark Ronson. I got the, Ghostface, doubles of the Ghostface song with Nate Dogg.
Ooh, wee.
Yeah, I'm going to figure out how to incorporate that in the mix. So here's it. And then just go crazy, and just mix. Like, it was at the time of when Serato and vinyl were transferring over, sort of. So I think
was it like 2005, 2006?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, exactly. Definitely 2005.
2005,
probably, maybe
even
before. Yeah, because I remember I used records on the mix, like a few records and Serato and. But yeah, I entered that and then just kind of that was it. Didn't think anything of it. I had been trying to do so much different stuff. Like I said, I've been DJing for 10 years. I was in hip hop groups. I had record labels. I was, in a rock group, and I tried to do everything you could do as a DJ.
So like the Next on Decks, you did the CD, the mixtape or whatever.
Yeah.
You sent it in.
Yeah.
And then I don't really know. Was there a competition? Was it? It wasn't like a 3-style, right?
No, it was just like you send it in and that's it. So I mean, I sort of almost forgot about it in a way. And I remember at the time, I had been. I wasn't like making a good living off DJing at the time. I think I even had a job, maybe like in the daytime. And I just remember being like, I need to just find a cool job. And then I remember getting the call from Matt Colon. He's like, Matt Colon. He's like, I'm with Mark Ronson and you just won the BPM contest. We're going to bring you to Miami. And I was like, this is some bullshit, And then they're like, no, for real. So it ended up, that was it,
I think I was there for. Was it? I think maybe your first Las Vegas DJ set.
Probably.
It was at
Tangerine. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys was Five. I remember Five was there because he made me so nervous because he did the when you take two fingers like a peace sign, point at your eyes, and then point at like you in the very beginning of my set. And I was like, why did he just do that? I don't even know him that well.
And did Mark Ronson spin with you that night?
Yeah, I think I was opening for him because I think that was part of the thing. Like, so they had me. I remember I played at LAX for the BPM monthly party, and it was me and Mark Ronson. And I had just met AM too randomly, so it was like all these worlds were like colliding. And then, AM was a resident at Pure, and so was Mark Ronson. So they brought me out to open for Mark at Tangerine and Pure, and Tangerine was like the winning my Vegas set, on the tour with Mark, like the US tour, whatever that was. It was like a few cities.
But was it kind of like you you just kind of like was a little like intimidating. Like it was like a
Oh
like
God, yeah, it was the most.
Because I don't know if you had like a club background where you were DJing clubs like regularly,
Right.
Like 2-3 times a week, and then you got into this. It's kind of like you want to mix, you won the competition, and then you got a Las Vegas residency, and then you had to DJ in front of like 1,200, 1,500 people, right?
I had been doing clubs. Like I DJ'd tons of bars in LA at the
Right.
time, and I would do clubs or whatever, but not like that. This was a whole different level. Plus, I have Mark Ron. I have the owners of the club. I have all you guys, people that are seasoned in the game. There. I got Mark Ronson. I'm trying to do good in front of and impress everybody and do my thing. So. Definitely,
you had to be nervous.
Super nervous.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I still get nervous right now all the time before my gigs, but that was definitely next level nervous. And like you said, I'm thinking, do they want me to perform like not perform, but like do what I did in the mixtape and do these mashups where I'm taking like Bust a Move instrumental and put Pitbull over it, like whatever the hell shit we were doing in 2006, and taking like. The
mashup
Jagged Bojangles, into like Queen or something. Like, do they want me to do that, or do I do? I didn't know what to do, and I remember starting out like, I hope this goes good. Like I came up with some shit, and I'm just gonna see if it works, And then later through the set, I remember going, okay, I could sort of now freestyle it or figure out what to do. But
I kind of remember that night because I feel like every DJ that was off that
funny.
night came to Tangerine just to check you out.
Wow. Luckily, I didn't know that.
He was already nervous.
I would have been more nervous, and then, but definitely like burned in my memory like is 5 just doing that eyeball thing. Like, I'm watching you, fool.
That's funny.
There's nothing worse than a group of DJs.
Oh
and
yeah.
all of them ready
It's
to
like
like
one and two is bad, but when you got a bunch of them,
when you got a group of them just ready to hate. It's like, yo, who?
And they're all imagining how they would do what you're doing better.
Like, and yeah, it's just like it's like here's the kid that won the golden ticket. Let's see what's about.
What's this? What's this guy gonna do?
It's like that. What was that joke? Remember Justin Hoffman? He had that joke. How many DJs does it take to screw a light bulb?
Yeah, I've heard it.
And he says it takes one DJ to screw in the light bulb and 20 to watch him do it and say they could do it 20 times better.
Exactly. That's funny. It's the truth.
So then you got your Vegas. Did you got that Vegas residency out of that, right?
No, actually, I didn't. Like that was just so that we were doing this, quote unquote U.S. tour, like with Mark. But what it was just like a few dates they booked. So it was like LAX in LA, Tangerine in Vegas. We did this spot called like Metro or something in Philly, which was the craziest night ever. It was so much fun. And then we did like, I think something in New York and just a few cities, like I can't remember where else. But that was just that, and then that was it. And then the residency actually came through I started DJing for MySpace, and like the people that ran MySpace had like official DJs, and they were like, we want to make you the official DJ of MySpace, and we'll put you on the front page. And I got all these like friends or whatever from it, and they would do a MySpace party at Pure every month. Remember they used to do those MySpace parties everywhere.
Yeah.
So they started flying. They would just bring me, and they'd be like, "This is the guy." So I'd go to Nebraska. They'd be in like Lincoln, Nebraska, doing the MySpace party, or anywhere like San Francisco, Sacramento, San Diego, and we did Pure. And I remember I did it, and then the dude that was doing that like talked to the head of Pure, and then at the same exact time, like I said, I had met AM, and I was starting to open at LAX and do things, and he heard my mixtape and liked me, and his manager was like, yo, we want to help you out. So it was kind of like both of them in the ear of, I think, the owner of Pure at the time, and like he offered me a residency, and yeah, like I went from just doing these little bars to like all of a sudden like, holy shit, there's a lot of people here.
I remember you were like attached at the hip with Steve Wonder, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's my dude. Yeah,
because the Scion party.
Well, yeah, we were like DJ partners, quote unquote. Like, and we would whatever share records. And when Serato came out, I'd be like, "Oh, what records are you recording in? I'll give you my shit. You give me your shit." And And we would do a 2x4 show, like 4 turntables. Not show, but you know what I mean? We would DJ gigs like that a lot of the time.
Did y'all have a mixtape together? Or I just remember like Steve Wonder had a ton of mixtapes.
Yeah, we've done some mixes together. And like we did those mixes for like Scion and stuff. But I don't know if we ever came out with a real mix. I mean, we've been doing a podcast lately called Selected Eclectic, where we do me, him, and this guy, Mr. Best, and we do like
I know Mr. Best.
Just kind of an eclectic mix of stuff, you know, like music that we don't play in the club, and just stuff that we're feeling that we think is dope. And like I do a lot of private events and stuff, so I thought it'd be cool to play some of the music I play there somewhere, you know. So that's why we started doing that.
Right.
So I do those mixes with them, and. But no, we didn't have like an official mix. I
remember like having a stack of Steve Wonder CDs, mixtapes, and CDs.
Yeah, he has a lot of dope mixes. He has that Nate Dogg.
Legendary. Yeah. That was legendary. The best of Nate Dogg and stuff like that. And then I remember I was DJing at Jet and Light, and Andrew Sasson, the owner.
Yeah.
So like they would come up to me. It's like, I'm going to Saint-Tropez or something. I'm going to like. I'm going to whatever. And he's like, I make me a bunch of mixes. And I'm like, I'm not making a fucking bunch of mixes. So I just gave him a bunch of Steve Wonder CDs.
And then he became the resident.
Yeah. And then
so that helped.
Andrew pulled me aside, or he was talking to Eddie McDonald, who was the music director at the time. And then he was and he was just like, he came back from the trip and he was like, man, he's like all refreshed. And he's just like, he's like, I've been hearing, he has this British accent. He's like, I've been hearing a lot about this kid, Steve Wonder. Who is this guy? And then that's when I think that's what planted the seed for that.
That's so dope. I never realized that. No.
That's crazy.
And I remember I was like, damn, man, I'm glad I gave him those CDs and shit.
Yeah. Damn, you started the career of Steve Wonder's Vegas life.
I think that's what happened, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because it came out of nowhere. He's like, I've been hearing a lot about this kid, Steve Wonder.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well,
so like every time I got a relationship with Spider, where whenever I see him, he's just very candid, and he always has like some type of shit show story.
Yeah, we're not on a podcast usually, but
but you're always telling me about like, I don't know, something fucked up that happened, or like, dude, even when I would see you, you'd be like killing it. And you're just that dude that's like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. Is it okay? Is it all right out there?
I mean, yes, I definitely have a habit of second guessing myself or feeding into my insecurity. And then later on being like, what the hell was I thinking? But yeah, I mean, I think everybody's like that a little bit, especially like DJs, stand-up comic type things where you're just like, oh, I'm up here doing this. Is this going good? Or am I doing the right thing? But yeah, I've had a lot of, and just like stand-up comics and DJs, I think we've all had those amazing nights where we're like, this is why I do it. I feel so good. Like, and then you're like, that was the worst night of my life. Like, I should quit DJing, like.
This club would never book me again.
Yeah, just like, who am I? What was happening? So.
Well, it's a lot of those nights where you're just like, damn, I suck. This is horrible.
Yeah.
And like, I should be a carpenter. Or something. And then, you just get one of those nights that really... that really kind of just like keeps you going.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes up for all like the past 2 months of like sucky gigs or something.
I know.
Like that.
So yeah, I've had a lot of the horrible nights, and sometimes you just get the short end of the stick. Like even sometimes I'll get booked for a grand opening of a club, and it seems so dope, but there's always fucked up things happening on the grand opening, so then you end up looking bad and like being like, oh, he was just the first guy we booked, we're not coming back.
In my opinion, that's like a curse.
Yeah,
like doing a grand opening of a club
some of the times.
Yeah, because management, they look, if the something goes wrong, the first person they blame is the DJ,
right? And they're just figuring everything out, so it's gonna go wrong anyway. Yeah. Now I've had a lot of things like that, and just I don't know, like, well, I was mentioning some stuff earlier when like I was, different cities are different to DJ in, as you guys know, and probably people listening to different degrees know. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I learned that even like, and even hearing what Rockcon's saying about this and that in Chicago, like I've had, I remember when Blow the Whistle was so big, and like and I was in Chicago for one of my first times, and I played it and nobody knew it. Like, you're like, what's my favorite word? And it's like, silence. And I was like, oh shit, that is not their favorite word here. You know, like, so, but it made me realize like how regional stuff can be, especially back then. Nowadays with Spotify and everything, it's kind of like, what's big here? Oh, like I used to sort of ask the DJs more like, what's big here? What's been big in the city? And it's still like that. I'll go to Miami or somewhere and be like, I never heard this song before, you know, or even that like creepy, kush, you know, weird. Like I was in Miami, I'm like, what is this shit? And then it became big, but yeah, so I remember, and then I remember being in New York and doing some spot, and I was saying earlier, like Graham Funky was with me, and he had come with me to the club or something. I can't remember. And the dude, like the manager guy, was just kept coming up to me like, you know, it's open format. We want open, or open format wasn't the word. We want mashup. We want mashup. And I'm like, all right, what does that even mean? You know, so I'm trying to do what he's saying. And then he's like, we need how. Basically, I was bombing, like you said. It was not going good. I felt horrible. The dude's screaming at me. I'm thinking, when can I just get off? And then he's like, play house music. And I'm like, and this was way before I didn't play house. You know, like up-tempo shit was like Missy, Lose Control. You know what I mean? Like I knew house music, but that was like a house music DJ's job, not me. You know, and like Bob Sinclair was getting big, like that whistle song and the acoustic guitar song, and I think I had like those two songs and a couple other songs. And I remember playing that, and he's like, "Keep it going," and I'm like, "I can't. I have nothing else," you know. And at that point, like he's trying to talk to the people around me, and Graham Funky totally just acts like he doesn't know me and just throws me under the bus.
Sold you out.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks a lot. And then just I don't know if I got pulled. I may have gotten pulled off early, but. Yeah, that wasn't
I don't
good.
think it was as bad as you thought, but like
it could have been. I've had a lot of other really good nights after that in New York and other places, but that was an example.
It goes back to what I was telling you, where I know you were doing like maybe like local lounges and some clubs around here,
right?
But like it's different when you start hitting and going on the road and hitting different cities. Back then, it was like it was one of those things where I would hear you and I'd be like, damn, this dude is really talented. Like he's got a lot of skill. And you just need like that year or two to really understand how it is to be on the road and like be like, oh shit, you know, when you're in Miami, you got to play a little more Latin, or you got to like know certain local records.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in Miami, I heard Mr. Mauricio and it just blew my mind. Like I was like, whoa, this fool was playing. And like Rick Ross was just starting to get big. He's playing that. He's playing Latin stuff. Like, I was like, this is insane, you know, and then Irie too, like they just knew where they were and what to do. And then I noticed that about the different regions, like the more I got to travel, you know.
So you don't think it's like that like now as much, right?
I think it is. Yeah. But I think it's easier for DJs to know and talk to other people and see on Instagram and see on Facebook and see through the DJ pools now, you know, and the DJ cities and all that kind of stuff, like to know what's big, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you, like when you're spinning now, do you feel like, are you like a little detached from some of the music and shit, or are you on it?
I mean, both. I think just within all music, I always just try to find what I like. You know what I mean? So I don't care what genre it is. I'll find stuff I like. And within all the new stuff, I find stuff I like. Definitely there's elements of like, damn, people like this. This is not what I like, you know, but that's always been within DJing. And some of the music, I guess it feels a little detached because it's just not made for DJs as much, you know, and I don't know. Some of the music's made for different purposes or something, I guess, if that makes sense. But like, I don't know. I mean, I still just try to approach it the same and just mix it with old and new stuff. But yeah, it's like if I have to play like a 2-hour set of all new hip hop, like there was a time when I was kind of struggling with that a little bit and then forced myself to like have fun with it. Like I downloaded every instrumental and acapella I could of all the new stuff and was trying to come up with mixes and trying to come up with acapella loops and trying to just do things that I'm used to doing in my DJing and apply it to the new stuff. Even if people in the club just want me to play it from the beginning, you know, and be like, here we go. I only love my bed and my mama.
You've been like killing the corporate game though. Dude,
yeah,
you're like at like I don't know, you're like at a Game of Thrones premiere. Yeah, like another movie every week.
Netflix.
Or like twice.
Yeah, I try to, you know, I mean, really, like DJ AM put me onto that world. Like I remember like I don't know what it was, tagging along with him to like an entertainment TV, you know, some type of party, like an Emmy party or something. Yeah. And I think I opened for him, and then he played, and just seeing, but then he played a dope set and everyone was into it, and it was super fun. He's scratching and he's playing everything from 90s hip hop to Michael Jackson to whatever. And I was like, this is dope. Like, you know, I want to try to do this too. So I started just really making a point to try to get into those type of events and getting to know the right people, and then making sure I did a good job when I was there, and sort of would having because it's different. It's like, you know, when you're opening, when you do a nightclub now, we have like openers a lot of the time. So you just come in for like that flash bang set, you know, but there's sometimes still where I'll play the whole night, you know, and you get to play a lot of different music. And at those, your set has to be so eclectic and crazy, you know, and just go through so many different moods and feelings and whatever. So, you know, just try to have that part of my thing going, and just like try to make it special for those things. Like sometimes it's cool to do like a theme type set at those if it fits, you know, not nothing like over the top. But
like I do a lot of clubs, like, and when I do like an event, like a corporate event, I gotta like recondition my sets.
Right.
It's a totally different world, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Because like I'm in Vegas, so I'm always focusing on energy. It's just nonstop energy.
Yeah.
And then when I'm in a corporate world, it's like kind of like vibes, but then it's like I don't, you know, like it's. I have to really recondition. I got to remember all my like 80 sets.
Yes.
Or like, man, like now's the perfect time for some Hall & Oates.
Yeah, exactly.
Or some shit like that.
That's true.
And, you know, and then
know when to go into the club,
exactly,
new stuff, and
then,
if they want that or not, and how open these people are.
But then also like slowly building that corporate energy where it's like, all right, now's the time to dance. Like speeches are over or whatever the fuck. Like what do you play to dance?
Yeah. And sometimes you're doing a very corporate type thing, like you're saying, where it's just like, don't play curse words or like suggestive music, where I'm like, oh shit. But a lot of the ones I do are kind of like the movie premieres and the cooler things where it's just creative people that are just celebrating something, so it's more fun, you know, and then I can feel it out and see what the theme of the movie was, see who the actors and the people, you know, and just go, oh, okay, I know these are these kind of people. I can do a 90s hip hop set here, or indie rock, or whatever it is. But same, I sometimes, like this year even, I've done way more private events. I've done a lot of clubs, but not as many, and there's been gaps, and it like I'll do private events for 2-3 weeks and then do a club, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, I got to get back into it. And you know, 3 weeks of not downloading club music is like a year now. It's just like
you feel lost. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You missed out on something.
And if I haven't gone out, you know, it's like I have to at least go out and see what's happening and see what people are reacting to, and get into that mode. Too. You know,
I saw videos of you like teaching or like showing. What's her name? Christy Teigen. John Legend's wife.
Oh no, Aisha Curry, maybe.
Aisha Curry, that's what it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Aisha Curry, Stefan Curry's wife. You were like showing her how to scratch or something.
Well, it was their birthday party. I got booked to DJ their joint birthday party, and it was.
How do you get shit like that? I'm like very like interested in that. Because it's such a foreign thing.
A lot
to me,
of it is just
mean?
relationships. You know what I mean? Just like how a good manager would, but just like when we're our own managers in a way, you know what I mean? Like even if we have them, and that, you know, just came from this dude that I know, Justin R.O.A.D, that like promotes a lot of parties in San Francisco, and he does tons of stuff, and used to bring me in for these big parties at all different clubs, and just hit me like, you want to do their, you know, they want like a Vegas DJ, someone that's been, you know, LA and all these clubs and this and that, and told me what they wanted. You think you could do it? I was like, yeah, let's go. So I did it, and then I didn't know what it was going to be like, and then she came in the booth and was like, I want to scratch. And at first I was like, oh shit. But then I was like, all right, I'm like, here's what we're going to do. I'm like, you do the turntable, I'll do the crossfader, and just kind of like, move it, you know, I let her, it's like that way she sounds good, and then I can just, right before the drop, give her a little, okay, you're making the sound, and then we're out. Thank you. You know, and then I went to like, it was like a Major Lazer, like light it up song, you know, like think Danny Diggs.
What was one of your favorite like corporate gigs that you're like, yo, I made this person dance? Or
oh my God. Well, I have a lot of stories like that, and some I don't know if like I could tell or not or whatever. But a really good one is I was doing, I think it was either during the Oscars or the Emmys, and it was like this guy, this big agent guy, and he throws this party every year, and I did it for a few years in a row. I don't think I did it this year, but and there's a lot of people there. You know, I see celebrities like whatever, but Bill Murray was there, and he's like, I see him dancing just over, and I'm like, is that Bill Murray? I'm like, there's no way that's Bill Murray.
Do you remember what he was dancing to?
Anything I played, like I'm playing whatever. I was playing like Blurred Lines, you know, like I don't know, like that was big at the time. You know, it was like just stuff. There was like mainly girls like on the dance floor, and these a lot like younger kind of girls, and he's trying to dance with them. And I remember, and then they weren't paying attention to him. That's when I was like, "There's no way that's Bill Murray," because they're not even talking to him. He's trying to talk to him, and then the night's coming to a close, and he comes over. Oh, and the manager of the we were like at the Sunset Marquee or some hotel, and the manager's like, "All right, last songs, turn it off." And he comes over. He's like, "Oh, I need you to play something else." Like after I was done, and I was like, I don't know, you know. And then the manager's like, "Nothing else." I'm like, Bill Murray is asking me to play a song. Like, you know, let me play one more song. And she's like, "He's always here." And I'm like, okay, well, not for me. So then I'm like, she's like, "All right, one song." And then she's like, "What do you want, Bill?" And he's like, "Oh no, I told him."
What do you want, Bill?
What do you want, Bill?
Yeah. But I remember too, I told him, I go, "They're telling me, you know, they want me to stop." And he goes, "I'll protect you." And I go, okay. And he goes, "What if they come up to you, you tell me, I'll defend you, and I'll stand in front of you, and I'll tell them it's me, and it's my thing." And I'm like, this is crazy. Bill Murray saying this shit to me. And I was like, okay. So then I told her, I'm like, you know, he wants another song. And she goes, "What do you want, Bill?" And he goes, "You got Marvin Gaye, Got to Give It Up, the extended version." And you know that shit's like...
This is like 23 minutes.
Yeah, it's like 14 and a half minutes or something, or like 15 minutes. And I look at him like, oh shit, he knows. Like, you know, this is why Bill Murray's a genius. He'll know the longest, actually dope song you could play. It's not like Stairway to Heaven or some shit. Yeah. And so I was like, "Oh, I got you." So I'm like, boom, put it on. And he starts dancing, and he's dancing with the girls, and whoever, and they're all happy that the music came back on, and the security dude standing next to me with his arms crossed, like serious face, like, "All right, when's this shit gonna end?" And like 3 minutes goes by, and then like 5 minutes, and then the manager's like, "What's up?" And I go, "It's the same song." And she's like, and then he sees, and he comes over, and I'm like, oh, he's really protecting me, and he's like, "You said one song. This is the one song. This is it." She's like, okay. And she walks away like 8 minutes. She comes back like, "What's going on? Are you repeating it?" I go, "This is the song." And he goes, "You said it's the song." And like he's getting into it, and finally like they didn't let it go to 15 minutes. It was like 11 minutes, 30 seconds. And the security's like, "I don't care if it's Bill Murray. I don't care who it is. Turn it off. We're going to get a ticket." And I was like, all right, cool.
Damn.
But that was pretty amazing.
That's some like prankster smart ass shit he probably digs.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
With the club, yeah.
And then he just like, you know, I saw him just walk in the hotel, get in the elevator.
Shit. No tip, no tip.
No tip or thank you.
I mean, I got a picture, so that was better than the tip.
That's dope.
I got also one time I was doing a Sundance party, and it was like all these people, like Aubrey Plaza from Parks. I think she's from Parks and Rec. But that dude John C. Reilly was there. He's from like, he was in Step Brothers, Will Ferrell's brother, you know, that dude with the curly hair. And he's
Boogie Nights,
Dr. Steve Brule, like Tim and Eric, like all this funny shit. But he's dancing. I remember they wanted 90s hip hop, which was dope. So I'm playing that. They're dancing. He knows Tribe Called Quest and all this stuff.
Oh, shit.
And she comes over and she goes, "John wants to give you something."
Hey.
I'm like, all right. Yeah. I'm like, hey, yo. And then she's like, and then he comes over and he hands me this card. I thought it was like a business card, and it was like plastic. And he's like, "Hey, man, you've been killing it. We had the best night ever. I just want to thank you somehow. I thought it would be weird to give you a tip, so I'm giving you this." And I was like, "What?" And I look, and it's his SAG card. And it was just like, really? I still have it. And it was just like John C. Reilly, Screen Actors Guild, like, holy shit.
Really?
And I was like, "Don't you need this for like your health insurance?" He's like, I'm good. I'm like, okay. Wow. Like, Yeah,
that's fucking nuts.
I know, so I still have.
You still have it?
Yeah, I don't know what to do with it, but
What
I
can
try
you
to
do
pay
with
for
it?
things sometimes. No, just weird shit like that.
You said that you did a college radio station.
Yeah, well, when I was in, when I was in college.
Did you get your starter on that time or what, like
Yeah,
before?
I mean, I got my start here. I grew up in LA. I used to go to raves. Like we would go downtown.
That was the big thing out here.
Yo,
huh?
Yeah.
Everyone.
Every fucking DJ started.
Well,
with
it
a
was
rave.
Pasquale, you know, the guy that does EDC.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was the man. So it was like anything he did Insomniac, and you would go to, like, everyone wanted to go to Insomniac. So they would find these abandoned warehouses in downtown, and then you'd have to get a phone number, and then the phone number would tell you to go to a map point, and then you go to the map point, and then the person would give you the map, and then you go to the spot and then pay the money and then go do crazy shit all night and see these DJs. And then whenever the cops found out what you were doing, they would shut it down. Everyone would have to leave.
Right.
But he was, you know, I remember going to the first, all of it, you know, Beyond Wonder or whatever, Wonderland, Electric Daisy Carnival, all those in the beginning of it. But that was what got me into
What year was that?
DJing.
Like
mid-90s, like between probably like 92, 93.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like
I'm
we
old.
talked to like LA dudes, and they're like hip hop heads, but
Yeah.
they all went to like raves.
Well, because they had a hip hop room at all the raves too. Like we would,
yeah.
and that was the thing. I only listened to Wu-Tang, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul. You know, that was it. Like Beastie Boys, like just hip hop. But then we would go to these raves, and there was a hip hop room and a breaks room, and it got me. That kind of would like suck me in, and then it was just fun. Like the vibe was so amazing. Everybody was so cool and fun, and like accepted. You know, like it was just like a. And then the DJs were just doing crazy shit. I remember seeing this guy R.A.W. and he's playing drum and bass, and he's playing hip hop, and he's playing these breaks and house, and he's scratching like crazy stuff, you know, acapellas over it, and that kind of opened my mind, because I'd been listening to DJ Premier, and I always wanted to get turntables and do hip hop type DJing, but then I heard that and I was like, oh, this is crazy. So that was that. And then when I got to college was when I finally saved up and got turntables. And
What were your first turntables?
I got Techniques, but I bought them from a wedding DJ who had moved on to like the CD console thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I found him like at like a newspaper ad or some shit, and then he's like, oh, I don't use these things anymore, you know. And I think I bought them for like, I forget, I think it was $200 each or
Damn,
something.
that's good.
That's hella good.
I still have them. I mean, they're my, you know, at
What
home.
were Techniques going for? Like $450 at least?
Five
something,
right?
five,
Yeah.
6, yeah.
So they were older, but I mean, they still work to this day. And then that's when I discovered the radio station, and I was like, oh.
You went to college out here too, or no?
No, I went up in Northern California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I grew up here. I lived here for 18 years, and then just wanted to get out, you know. So I went there. I would be in the Bay Area all the time. I went to every hip hop show in the Bay Area, every, you know, scratch battle that Hubert put on, like anything like that. And then, but yeah, I had a hip hop show, a drum and bass show, a funk break show, and just tried to like be there as much as I could, run the station and stuff.
Funny, the first time I heard you DJ or your name was at 2005 Power 106.
Yeah.
12 Days of Mixmas.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
like an infamous mix for me. A lot of people like know that mix and heard me for the first time there, and that helped me so much, and that was so fun to do. That, talk about being nervous. Oh my god.
Was that the one with they had Eric Deluxe?
It
Yeah.
had everybody.
Vice.
Homicide,
AM did one.
Vice, AM. I think
Yeah.
I have that on in my computer at home.
Yeah,
I need
was,
to put that back out.
Yeah,
Throwback
I was
Thursday.
like 16 listening to that shit. I was like, fuck. These motherfuckers are going in. So
yeah, it was fun. They were like, you can do whatever you want, but I had to tailor it to the timing. They're like, we need this long of a set, this long of a set. And
yeah, it was really good.
I was so nervous, like to do it live on air, on Power, like the station I'd listened to forever, and like they were like telling me how many people were listening.
I think you went before AM, like the day before or whatever, like the hour before.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you were like the third one.
Yeah, I remember his set too, super dope.
Yeah, it was nuts.
But yeah, that was, all that stuff happened at the same time. The MySpace thing, the BPM magazine, meeting AM, the getting asked to be on there. Like all of that was in the period of a few months somehow. And then
what was your relationship like with AM?
It was good, you know, but I met him later. I met him when he was skinny. You know, I met him when, like, the way I met him was with Steve Wonder. There's like actually randomly a video on YouTube of me and Steve meeting AM because we had a flip camera. You remember those things? Like
yeah.
And it was like probably one of my first Vegas gigs, but it wasn't even in a club. And it was like when like that club R.O.A.D or something was big
at the Luxor.
Yeah, and I remember like War and Peace and Just Blaze were playing, or like something like that. But me and Steve got booked to do a Bongo Jeans booth at the Magic convention. And to me, I was like, this is the jackpot. You know, like we get to come out and do this. And I remember we had to bring, it was when Serato was first starting. So we brought like, I think 8 crates of records, a Serato box, the turntables, the mixer, the speakers, everything. Like we drove out there from here and we had to like have a dolly and like bring it all in. And then they were like, Nicole Richie is the spokesperson of Bongo Jeans and her boyfriend is a DJ AM. And he's going to come play like an hour set with you guys. And also he's super expensive. Like he usually would get like $5,000 for this set. I don't know why they told me this. She's like, but we're only going to give him $3,000. And I'm thinking, I think we got like $900 for like 4 days of DJing 8 hours a day.
A piece?
And like we had to share a hotel room. No, not a piece.
Oh man.
And like, you know, I mean, and I was hyped. I was like, this is dope. Like I didn't know, you know, I was still doing whatever. I would DJ in Macy's, you know, like, cause I'd be in a bar, you know, doing whatever I could, honestly. Any opportunity that came my way, I would do it. And so we did that, and AM comes in, and I remember, you know, he was like a celebrity at the time. Everyone's freaking out. All the girls are like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "Hey, what up, B? Yo, you on Serato?" You know, I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah." And he like, you know, just immediately like plugs in. And I was on absolute mode. This is some DJ nerd shit, but I'm sure a lot of DJs will listen to this. But
why were you on absolute?
This was the very beginning of Serato. Okay. So I had recorded in all of my records by the side. So I labeled all my shit. It'd be like 50 Cent, just a little bit, side A. And it would be like clean, dirty instrumental, my MP3. Wow. And then I thought that's how you're supposed to use Serato. So then I'd put the needle.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I still have all these MP3s like that. And then I didn't know what relative mode was or any of that. And then he comes in, and I remember he puts on, and he's on and he goes, "You using relative mode?" I'm like, "No, I don't even know what that is." And he just starts doing doubles of like that Billie Jean with like the Kill Bill whistle over the beginning.
Right.
And he's like hitting relative mode and starting the thing, and he's so fast with it. And then all the mixes were so fast because relative mode. And I was like, oh shit, I need to get on this, you know. Yeah. But that was where I met him, and you know, our relationship was good. Like that was just a random meeting, and then he actually left his needles and box. He wanted to use his own records and needles, and he left it in the booth, and he had given me his business card. And I was like, yo, that dude left his shit here. And I called him. I'm like, yo, your stuff. He's like, oh, yo. He's like, I'm back at the Vegas airport already. I got to do this John Varvatos store opening. You think you could bring me the needles? And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm like, and then Steve was like, go bring him the needles. He's like, we're here fucking 8 hours. I'm DJing. I don't give a fuck. Like, go do it. And I was like, all right. So I drive to the airport. I meet him outside the terminal. I give him the needles. And I give him my mixtape. I had made this mixtape called Pay Dues and Break Even. And it was like also my sort of transition-y thing. Like I had all these rappers on it. Like I was trying to make it like cool underground, but also like accessible, you know. I don't know. Yeah. I gave it to him, and I was like, just listen to this shit at least, you know. And that was it. And he actually listened to it. And that's when I came back, and I met him and Kevin Scott, and they were like, come to LAX. We like your mix. We want you to open. And Kevin Scott was like the opener, you know, the main dude, not even just the opener, like at LAX. And AM was like, you know, we want you to start working here. And just, you know, like my relationship, I wish it could have been closer. Like even before he passed away, like I remember we had so many times where we'd hang out and be like, we should hang out more, you know. And then just randomly, like, he came to my wedding like shortly before he passed away, and we moved and we were going through all our stuff, and I found this like note from him that he had written to me at the wedding, like, like, we need to go out to dinner, like this whole thing, like I want to make a point of like becoming friends, you know, like just kind of like not just being business DJ type shit, you know. Right. And then that was it, like after that. But you know, I think we were always struggling to try to do that more, and I was somewhat intimidated sometimes because he's just so good at everything, you know. And I knew he thought I was good, but it was still like a thing, you know, where you're insecure or whatever it is.
Yeah, it was also a thing where like, I think when he was around and everyone gravitated towards him, you know?
Yeah.
And you just didn't want to, I remember I would see him and I didn't want to be one of those dudes.
Exactly, yeah.
Like jocking him.
There was like so many of those guys.
So many.
I know,
like shameless, you know? And I just didn't want to be one of those guys like laughing at his jokes just like thinking out, like, because I wanted something from him. But it was more like, dude, like, I respect you.
Exactly. I can't be like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's to my detriment. I guess I probably, if I was a little more like, hey, what up? Like to certain people or friends or take a picture. But I just never, I don't know, same kind of thing. But, you know, he was definitely super instrumental in me getting a lot of those traveling gigs. Like once that happened and then I signed on with this one manager and he started Deckstar. It was just called the DJ Company. And it was just like me, I think, like, and Kevin Scott. And then like, they started bringing people on slowly, like Scene and Fashion and a few, you know, they started, and then they changed the name to Deckstar. But yeah, I mean, he, you know, he helped me a lot just getting those gigs and just me trying to like sort of emulate what he had built and see how he did it and find that fine line between like keeping your integrity, but having a career and DJing and, you know, like all that, you know.
Yeah. The LX parties, did you ever do like Banana Split?
You know what? I never DJ'd it, and I think that came from like a whatever, like an insecure thing or whatever.
Really?
But I made some songs that he would play. I like made this thing where I chopped up East Flatbush Project, Tried by 12, and turned it into like a Be More song. And I remember thinking, whatever, and I gave it to him, and he played it like that night, and I was like, oh shit. And then like everyone would play it, and I would make stuff that people would play there, but I never got to DJ it.
But why did you want to do it?
I did want to, but I think I was a little too much playing the back, like, it's all good, I'll do it sometime.
So you were doing like the Fridays and Saturdays kind of thing, or what?
Yeah, I would do like a week or a Wednesday. Wednesday was like the cool night.
Right.
If he would let me like open for him Wednesday, you know, Vice would like fill in for him on a Wednesday if he wasn't there. You know, because Vice was like the
second. Like,
like if he, you know, when AM wouldn't do Body English or whatever. Yeah.
AM would throw it to Vice.
Yeah.
Damn.
So like,
I just went to Beat Junkies. You guys been there? Beat Junkie Institute of Sound.
I've heard about it.
Where is that?
It's right next to the freeway.
Man, you got it's in Glendale, but it's a DJ school.
I see like the great, like they have like all these like little kids on their social media. Like, they're just teaching them,
and they're like
DJ,
really good. Yeah, I'm like, well, they're learning from Babu, Melody,
right?
You know, Mr. Chalk. Like, oh my God! So I went there a couple weeks ago. This kid that I know that I'd met in Austin, we had a scratch session one night, like late during South by Southwest, and I mean the scratches that these kids are doing now are so crazy. But
really,
oh my God, I was having fun doing my thing, but they were doing crazy shit. But he came to LA and he's like, I'm going to Beat Junkies to do a scratch session. I'm like, oh man. So I rolled with him, and Babu was there, Mr. Chalk. And I ended up having a whole session, you know, with them and got some shirts. But it was funny because I was like, I walked in to talk about the intimidation thing, and they're doing the craziest shit. I don't even know what they're doing with their thumb and their finger and the most insane orbit crab, this, that. I can scratch, but this was like next level, you know. And they're scratching to the slowest beat ever and doing like the fastest stuff. And but I just kind of jumped. The second we walked in, I didn't know what else to do, so I just jumped right on and started scratching. And then we ended, and Babu was like, yo, mad props, like, you're not scared, everyone's scared, people aren't coming up here, you got to tell other DJs, come up here, don't be scared. He's like, you know, the fact that you just jumped right on, I was like, well, I was kind of scared, but I did just jump right on. But yeah, they kill it. It's dope, and it's just a cool, honestly, like, they seem so happy, and it's nice to see veteran DJs happy in a way, you know, because a lot of times you see like just the bitterness and the like
disgruntled.
Yeah, like
it's not like the
what's happening now. Yeah, they try to keep it the same way, or what's this person doing, and comparing to everything. And it used to be like this, or this sucks, and just get so caught up in the negativity when it doesn't have to be like that. Like they were so happy, like they're teaching these kids and they're passing this thing on. It was just like such a happy vibe, and everyone's DJing. It was like why I started DJing, what I love about DJing, just scratching and coming up with ideas and bullshitting with other DJs.
Well, we just had Rocticon, and we were talking about all his remixes and extendeds and stuff like that.
Sometimes I still play his shit, you know, like the fucking whatever, the Cars one. And
but it was. I remember. Do you remember like we used to all sit around just trade music?
Yes.
Like that was so crazy. It'd be sometimes like
I know
the nerdiest shit of all of us doing.
I still do it.
Do you?
Maybe. I feel like I give away more music than I get, but I do it. I mean, but yeah, I just pour through those record pools. You know, like I'll go on live DJ service and bar bangers and club killers and beat junkies and DJ City and Headliner and direct music service and you know, all of them, and BPM Supreme. You know, like they all have their own place. I just kind of rely on myself just to download endless stuff and then just dig through it, you know, and then try to make my own blends and remix, you know, things like that I could play.
Yeah. And when you're in the clubs right now, like, I mean, what are you feeling right now? Because, like, I to be honest, like, I try to play some of the new music, but it's like the energy is like, it'll be there for maybe the first 15, 20 seconds.
It is. Well, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of the new songs rely on one or two lines to carry them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like even the Bobby Shmurda, like the beat is super dope. So you can play the whole thing and people rock with it, but they just want to sing like the two parts of it.
Right.
And even the new Drake, like all of it, it's dope, but it's kind of just like I hear Drake's voice and a cool beat that sounds like all the other beats, and then here's that one part I'm gonna say, you know, about beds and mamas, and it's like, you know, I don't know. I feel like that's something about it is that if it's all about that one line in every song, and they just repeat it. It's like wet, you know, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. You know, it's just like it's gotten very primitive like that. And I feel like the mic plays a lot bigger role than it used to. Like a DJ rocking the mic now. Like it used to be like only a few people did it, and if you were good at it, you did it. And it
was like your thing. It was like, oh, he's actually he's like a mic DJ.
Yeah. But now that's the only way to play that kind of music, I feel like. Like, oh, here we go. We going in. You know? Oh, we going in again. You know, like.
What does Scooter call them? He's called them Instagram tracks, where they're only good for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like,
is that what he calls it?
I think, remember?
Instagram music or some shit?
Well, I don't think people are going to the club anymore to like get drunk.
Something for the gram, some shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People are going to the club for content at this point.
Well, the music you know? The music is directly referenced from like memes from Instagram. So it's like, you know, people don't know but like the 20 or 30 seconds that are on that meme, you know.
Right.
And they relate it to the song, so they don't know everything, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And people are just so into their phone that just at the club they're just either singing into their phone or they're talking into it, or it takes away from the whole thing, and like it's just a different, you know.
I even noticed like some of these girls, like a lot of the girls, they're literally sitting at their table. They're waiting for that one song for them to Insta story them looking good to that song. Yeah.
A lot of these people are literally coming to the club for content, you know, just to have it and have the tag and the geo tag, and they're like, all right, we can go now. Let's go to the next spot, you know, and show that we were here. And like
that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
It's like not even coming to party as much anymore, you know.
Yeah. Have you been noticing like a change in the LA scene a little bit, or, you know, it's because like honestly, I feel like when I come to LA, it's becoming more of a hip hop city.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the bottle service clubs are very, very hip hop, very not dance oriented. You know, I think as many tables as you could cram in, the better, and you know, have the celebrities, but there. And stuff.
I mean, like. During the EDM period of LA, and I don't know, for some reason I totally forgot what was going on out here, but you know, I
mean, people were playing some of that stuff, I think, but hip hop's always been in those clubs, you know, one way or another.
But not really. Like EDM was like fucking crazy
out here.
Was EDM? I'm about to ask you, was EDM big in LA?
Yeah, I mean, it's still LA is so spread out that we just have all the spots. You know what I mean? So we've always had Avalon has always been going, you know, on Friday with the EDM like forever. What it's just people notice stuff more or less because of the amount that the spotlight's on it, sort of. You know what I mean? When EDM was big, they're like, oh, it's everywhere. It's like they've been doing those parties at Avalon and all that stuff forever, you know, and then but now they have these, you know, Exchange and like all these big EDM based places that's what they do, so they don't have to do it in the open format. And LA just has every scene you could ever want, you know, from the cool hipster bars to like you could go to any type of night, you know, type of music. And
I feel like it got a lot more visible with LMFAO, like for LA.
Yeah,
like I was probably like mid to early 20s at the time, and I would see Red Foo out everywhere, and everybody was like, who is this dude in these leopard pants?
I mean, he got his start at Banana Split.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, like they blew up.
Yeah, Mike B has the best story about that.
Yeah, I just feel like EDM became a lot more visible.
I mean, you got to just have him on tell, but he told it one time at the Scratch at that camp that Tina T does, the camp spinoff.
Yeah.
And he told basically how he sort of like birthed Red Foo in a way or something, like by giving AM this CD, and then like AM played the song of Banana Split, and like, because I remember showing Red Foo about like Be More music, like after Banana Split one time we sat and talked about it, and you know, I watched him get into all that stuff. You know,
I mean, what, he was a rapper at that time, or what was going on?
He was writing.
I don't know.
He was writing.
He was, yeah. He's doing it all. You know, he's kind of like Will.i.am. I think he came up under Will.i.am. I think in a way, like on some sort of mentorship.
Sky was
type
more
thing.
the rapper,
right?
Sky Blue, his.
But
nephew.
I think he was everything. He made the beats, produce, be the, you know, create the vision for it, rap.
Didn't he produce that track in the early '90s? Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore.
I don't know.
Ahmed?
Did he? But
he wrote that.
But Red Foo,
He wrote Ahmed.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
wrote
know.
that.
Wow.
I don't know. That's possible. I definitely have underground hip hop records with Evidence rapping and DJ Revolution scratching. It's produced by Red Foo. Like he used to be in a group called Red Foo and Dre Croon. And I have all their 12
He's
inches.
Barry Gordy's nephew.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
No, he's Barry Gordy's son.
Yeah.
Son?
Yeah, Red Foo.
Yeah.
Barry Gordy's
Sky Blue's the nephew. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an odd song though. The Ahmad or Ahmed?
I think you might be right. Ahmed. Back in the day.
I think it was Ahmad. Was it Ahmad?
Ahmad
I think it's
or
Ahmad.
What was that flow? He was rapping like he was on the Bush Babies. Remember that?
I love the Bush
Like
Babies.
a 50 flow. I be on the chicken chow. They didn't want the 50 on the side on the
Yeah.
Right? But he was from LA.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird.
When I was just a little gigolo. Whatever.
But he sounded like he's from the Bush. Like that whole, what was that era? That motherfucker
That was
like
the
that.
far side.
Well, we had the West Coast, but we had people love. You know, we all loved the East Coast stuff. But
y'all had like well, what was like the? Because I remember growing up on '90s shit. The West Coast shit that I loved was Delta Funk, Homo Sapien, and
Hieroglyphics,
Hieroglyphics.
Casual.
Yeah, I mean, I loved just local LA freestyle fellowship. You know, that was like my shit.
See, like I never really understood. Like I never understood. Wait, freestyle fellowship was
Freestyle
that like
fellowships like AC Alone, Micah 9, Abstract Rude, like those kind of guys. And like there was this place, The Good Life, that they did stuff at. You know, it's like that was real LA underground hip hop. You know, I mean, it's still dope. I still will listen to it.
You know what? They used to come to New York, the Freestyle Fellowship, and they used to do like before Varkas used to do the what's those open mic MC joints?
Oh shit!
Blaze Battle or something.
Lyricist Lounge.
Lyricist Lounge. Yeah, they used to do that. They come to New York and do that all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
and it was dope. But when they came out
super
on
dope
wax,
freestyle.
for some reason they couldn't translate
the
freestyle, the live freestyle on wax. It didn't sound the same.
Yeah,
that's why I don't think
it
they
was
never
hard
blew
to
up.
listen to that shit sometimes, man.
I get it, especially if you're not from here. I don't know. I got super into it, but that was. I mean, I love them, but you know, and then we had like Dilated Peoples and
Alcoholics.
Yeah, they were dope.
Yeah, Alcoholics.
I love the Alcoholics.
That was like the
man.
West Coast Beatnuts.
I never got into like. I remember, man, when I first moved to Vegas, I was just so like East Coast.
Yeah,
and I was just like, you know, motherfuckers were playing all this West Coast. Like, I would even like listen to Neva at like
At Light
in Vegas, and he'd be playing like, you know, shit I would never play and never think to play, like
Pimp of the Year.
Pimp of the Year.
Drew Down?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, what are you playing? But like, yo, I would be DJing and I would have like these white chicks coming up to me at that time, like, hey, play Drew Down. I'm like, what the fuck do these white That was some Bay Area shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's super Bay Area.
And there was another one, I was like, why are you playing this, man? And I'll never play this shit. It was the Ice Cube. You could do it, put your back into it.
Oh, Mac 10.
I never could get
I still
into
play
that
that once in a while.
That's not. Oh yeah, that's not We Be Clubbing.
No. You can.
I fuck with We Be Clubbing, the DMX
It's almost
remix.
the same one. Yeah, you're right.
That's funny.
And then, fuck, man.
Put your back into it.
And then, like, yo, you would play like Jurassic 5 shit.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
What song was that?
Yeah,
Dun, dun.
me
I'm
too.
like, why are you playing this shit?
What's
the name of the
golden?
song?
It's golden. That's it. Yeah.
I like that record.
I remember just being like, why the fuck are you playing this shit, yo? This shit is the wackest shit in the world, yo.
The video for that was kind of wild. Like, they were like empty streets and they're just walking around. Like, what the fuck is going on?
But they were like 50 years old, which is nothing wrong with that. But it was like, but I always wondered why that song was big, because it just sounded like
nothing.
really irrelevant. But I felt like, but there was like some Cali shit where they just held on to certain shit, and they just like, yo, this is. And I was like, there's no way this should be relevant right now. But Cali is just, they really got their back like that. Jurassic 5.
I felt like that would Exhibit too. Like, when
mean,
Exhibit came out, he was very East Coast influenced.
No, but that's different. Like, Exhibit has some shit.
The paparazzi.
We was actually playing Exhibit in New
That one
York.
was, I didn't like that.
What was the
What? That's the best song.
Paparazzi was
Oh no,
crazy.
I'm confusing with some other one that he had where he's getting chased by the fucking by the helicopter. I forgot what it was.
That was dope when everything kept happening.
Like, what you see is what you get.
Like, he's
Yeah.
running.
Oh yeah.
That shit was crazy.
I didn't like that one. I like Front to Back. That shit was ill.
But yeah,
Bitch Please to me was the shit.
I don't
Bitch
know.
Please.
We have like a vibe out here, you know. If you're listening to Jurassic 5, driving down the street,
But
palm trees, feeling good.
Cricket hates the dog. He doesn't think the Dog Pound album is good. The first one.
Dog food.
Dog food.
It wasn't.
I mean, that's not like my
Wait,
number
the album
one.
was called Dog Food.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, gonna turn off Jamie's mic down for that one.
Wait, are you serious that the album was called Dog Food?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was
Come
really
on,
good.
man.
Dog food.
Name one song that popped off of that album. I'm not
That's
sure.
the
Yo,
one- is that the one with
By
the-
the way,
that's
I'm not
not the
trying to.
2
Yo,
and
I'm not
3.
trying to disrespect.
It's one with like Let's
LA
Play
shit.
House.
Oh yeah.
New York, New York.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that knocked
Calling
him
out names.
Calling out names. Was
Yeah, that's.
I don't know
classic.
any of this except New York, New York.
Yeah, that's the only one I know. Also.
You would know calling out names if you heard
Yeah,
it.
that's one where Corrupt was going at DMX.
yeah.
And
Nah.
because he was dating Foxy Brown at the time.
But I thought,
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought that album dropped before DMX came out. The Dog Pound, his first album.
You might be right. You
Yeah,
might be right.
DMX came out in '98.
Yeah,
Dog,
but why the fuck why are you shitting on DMX? What would it have to do with
Well,
Foxy Brown?
he calls out to a lot of people.
Yeah,
think
what
that's
though?
the
it has
point of the
something to
song.
do with
What
DMX
though?
and Foxy Brown. Like
West
they might have had a
Coast,
thing.
East Coast beef.
Yo, Cali motherfuckers was trolling back in the day, yo.
Original trollers.
Y'all want some
Yeah.
Tekashi 6ix9ine? She just starts talking out your ass,
Oh man.
doing horrendous shit. Yo, Pac,
Do you
yo,
play
yo-
that? You play that?
What?
The Takashi
Tekashi?
or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
The Kashi cereal.
are you playing it?
Not really.
Crooked put
I think I played it.
Crooked put me on
I play if the environment is right, then sometimes you play certain songs.
You don't
know,
play-
like,
you
I
don't-
DJ'd this like snowboarder event where they were like mosh pit, you know, and I played it and it actually went over pretty good. But
Really?
it's like the new Ante Up, just not as.
you're not playing it at like the new Ron Howard movie premiere.
Oh, for sure, I'll play that.
I'll be on the shit on the regular.
I don't really play it in the club though. I mean,
That shit is basically Onyx and
Yeah.
DMX.
Yeah.
yeah, it is, but not as.
I feel like
musical.
it's workout music,
right?
right?
Good energy.
Like a lot of
I don't
athletes
know.
probably do that. Listen to that shit before they fucking compete,
Yeah.
and they listen to that shit.
Shot.
Yo did a
Yo, that song, I can't front though. That song, that's the new version of Throw Your Guns in There.
I know.
699. That shit's crazy.
That song is wild though. I mean,
I honestly like the one with Tory Lanez and Young Thug. I think that one's good.
Rondo.
I don't know that one.
Rondo.
Yeah,
You should
yeah.
check it out. Spider. It's really good.
I gotta.
When I've dropped Tekashi 6ix9ine though, it has worked.
Yeah.
It's just about finding the right time to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
see, even if it's just pockets of the dance floor wilding the fuck out, it pops the fuck off. So
Yeah,
You know
there's
what I
a
mean?
time and a place.
Yeah.
is there any artist that you feeling right now in particular, or not really? He just did that.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot, you know, from every genre. I mean, I'm constantly looking. I feel like there's so much that I forget. It's almost like when you watch a stand-up comic and then they make so many funny jokes. Like by the end, I'm like, I don't even remember
What was your
they
favorite
said.
joke? You're like, I don't know.
There's so many artists like on Spotify. I'll make these playlists and there'll be like 100 things. I'm like, I like all this, but I don't even know anymore. Like I just put it on shuffle. I don't know.
Yeah. As long as Drake keeps making music, I think I'm good.
Drake?
Yeah. As long as Drake keeps making music, it's like,
You know, Drake can do no wrong at this point. I
yeah,
guess.
but it's not only that. He drops music that like across the board,
Right.
like a heavy hip hop crowd, or like, you know, a pretty fucking snooty crowd. Like they all kind of fuck with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas everything is so segregated now, man.
Yeah.
And that's
Yes.
right.
No, it's true.
Where there used to be like more songs across the board that will work in almost every room and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the ultimate crossover.
He's like the dude that's making those Usher Yeah songs. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Or
Yeah.
like those like 50 in the club songs that we don't have anymore.
Yeah.
That just used to work across
There's
the
like
board.
other people coming up like that too. I feel like that kid Russ. Have you heard him?
Oh yeah.
I like, but you know, like a
I
lot
like
of people
his shit.
hate on him though.
Why?
They fucking hate him.
Oh, he's dope to me.
Like,
I
kids
like
hate
his
him.
songs.
This album's really good.
Yeah.
He's dope, and I feel like he has a similar style. You know, he's cut from that cloth.
But only thing is, you really can't play him in the club.
No, there's no club song for him.
But it's like everything's the demo stage now. I feel like this is like, I don't even think he's really dropped that first album yet.
I don't know. But then I was like getting into some of his stuff, and I searched him on Spotify, and he had like 79 songs. Like,
Yeah.
he like puts out a song every week or something, just on there.
There was a time he was just releasing like 4 songs every week, which
Yeah,
was fucking
it's
insane.
crazy. I was like, I don't even know what to listen
It's too
to.
much, man.
It is, but I mean, it's almost that's the world we live in. There's so much static that you have to get through that. So I feel like as us, like we feel like we're over promoting or talking about something too much. Like even if we talk about it once or twice, and then your friends are like, "Hey, you already said that," and then you're like, "Oh, okay," but really nobody else is hearing it, you know, or they're forgetting about it, or
Yeah,
they don't
that's
know.
true.
You know,
Right,
you feel like everybody knows from posting on your Instagram, but really nobody, even the people that follow you, probably don't know or forget about it, and like you have to just keep going. You know, it's the consistency that wins out. If you have quality mixed with consistency, I feel like that's the real, you know, people that shine through.
Yeah.
I have a
But-
question. Did AM kind of like link you with Travis Barker?
Yeah, I think so. And just like his manager, this guy LV, he would work with him, and then you know, would be like, Travis wants some scratches on this project he's working on. So I would just roll over and do scratches on like Paul Wall's album, or, you know, this Expensive Taste thing they were doing, or Travis's personal album that he did with people, and I would do scratches. So just like, yeah.
Yeah, because you've been taking over that when AM was touring with Travis. You kind of like took that over. Like
we don't have like a show like they had and like, you know, pitch it to Coachella or something. But like we did, well, we've done different stuff. So like I used to do the scratches, and I still do on whatever he wants me to do. And then I remember he met Yellow Wolf, and he's like, "Yo, there's this new dude, Yellow Wolf. I want to do a show with him at the Roxy. Will you be the DJ?" So I DJ'd, and Travis played drums, and Yellow Wolf rapped, and you know, and then he met Clever, and they're like the perfect, you know, Clever and Yellow Wolf are like made to be together. But like, you know, stuff like that, and then I went on tour with Blink-182 and did a bunch of stuff like that.
Really? What year was that?
That was last year, not last year. Damn,
2016?
Yeah, it was the year before.
Oh shit! How was that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, I was gone from July to October I didn't see my kid or my wife. I never came home.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, he broke his leg like 3 days after I left, and then I met them in Iowa because a show got canceled because of a hurricane, and so I got to like run to the airport, and then they were in Iowa like visiting her mom, so I met them in Iowa for like one day, got to see them, but I was on a bus. We left LA on a bus the end of July, started in San Diego, and did probably like 60 cities, like all around North America. From San Diego, we drove to Vegas and El Paso. And
so you guys were like on a couple tour buses, or what was it?
We had 8 tour buses for Blink alone, I think. Like, well, because like Travis has his own bus, and Mark Hoppus had his own bus, and then Matt Skiba, the new singer, he had a bus with like the tour manager.
And you were in a minivan? What would you do?
I had like a little, they rented me like a Kia and then attached it to the bus. And then I would be in the back. I'd be like, hey!
What was your role on the tour? You just like,
I was an opener.
Okay.
So basically it was Blink's North American tour, and Tom DeLonge is not in the band anymore. They made a whole new album called California. And they have this guy, Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio, become the new singer. And they put it out and decided to do a tour. And then they had, Travis was like, I want you to be the opener for the tour. I'm like, oh shit, what does that even mean? And but it ended up basically like I would open the shows. The people would come in, then I'd be the opener. Then another group would go on, either All American Rejects or All Time Low. And then this group, A Day to Remember, would go on, and then Blink would go on. So, and then I would try to book an after party like in every city if I could, because that was like, they're selling tons of merch, but I'm not. So it's like that was my version of selling merch, making that side money. So I would do an after party in Idaho or Dallas or wherever the hell we were.
So how long would you perform?
From anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, just depended on like what the tour manager or like the manager of the whole show would tell me. And we figured it out as we went along, but he would just be like, yo, we only have this long tonight. You're on 30, you're on 45, you're on 40, you're on 50, So what
did you play for?
Yo, I mean, it was so hard to prepare because I was out of my element. In a way. So like I did not know what they were going to react to and what it was going to be like. And even when you DJ a nightclub for the first time, you don't know what it's going to be like. And then the next time you go back, you feel so much more comfortable because you're like, okay, I kind of know what to do here. Yeah. And so with that, like the first shows in San Diego, and I practiced, I don't know, like I spent so long, like days and weeks just getting stuff together, making edits, creating remixes and ideas, and none of it worked. I remember the first day I did San Diego, plus they had me do it at doors. So they were like, you're on right now, and nobody was there. And so I'm like, yo, this is kind of awkward. Like I had made like an intro. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to use that. There's like 3 like 42-year-old women at the front. That was it. And like some dude like going to the bathroom. And I was like, hey, how you 3 ladies doing in the front? What'd you have for dinner? It's like, so I just like started out, and then I'm thinking, oh, they're going to be so into like songs Travis produced or all these things. And like, it was just not like and I thought they'd be into EDM because I feel like it translates the other way. All the EDM people will play like Blink 182, and the whole crowd would be like, yes, I grew up on this. Or like open format crowds will be open to other kinds of music. But I thought, oh, they're going to be into the new hip hop.
Were they
EDM.
just stuck in that era?
Oh, God. Some people hated me, like I had to win them over. Like the tweets, I should just like screenshot and blow up and frame some of the tweets.
What was that shit?
Like when I remember I did, oh man, I don't know where, maybe it might even been, but we did Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And I was like, because also I'm not like the biggest mic person, but I had to become a mic DJ on that tour because you've got these massive crowds staring at you like, what are you about to do?
Right.
And I was thinking, oh, I'm about to like have a party, and they're thinking, no, you're about to do a show for us and tell us what to do. So I was like, oh shit. So I started, obviously make some noise is a pretty good thing to tell people to do.
Who's ready for Blink 182?
I don't know if I've ever heard you, like, pause. I've never heard your mic voice.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know if I had heard it either until that tour. So I'm like, I just had to jump right into it. But definitely, who's ready for Blink-182 was a question that I had asked every show.
But then it's like, how many times can you ask that, right?
But exactly. So I remember I was like, I think I said like, make some noise for this or some shit. And then after the thing, I looked at Twitter, just like normal. And, you know, there's always some people like, that was dope, blah, blah, blah. Like, I got a lot of good tweets, and it got me more followers. And then there'd be people like, who the fuck is this DJ Spider? Like, kill this guy. And then some girl, like, tagged me, and she was like, if DJ Spider tells me to make noise one more time, I will descend from the rafters and rip his head off with fury. Like, it was like, oh, shit. And I was like... And then I was like, this is the best. And then I retweeted it. I'm like, best tweet ever. And then like everyone from all the bands retweeted it. Like, I got all this shit. I was like, thank you. But yeah, you know, I mean, I just...
well, usually what... Did you figure out the crowd? What was it?
Yeah, I figured it out. Well,
stuck in that era?
So in the beginning, like, I'm playing... You know, and then like even like DJ Scene would put out like a 21 Pilots mashup that would go into like a dubstep trap kind of song. And I'm like, this is going to fucking kill it. And then I'd put it on. And then like right when the drop would happen, it would be like the whole crowd would look at me like...
Why did you fuck up the song?
What are you doing? Yeah, you piece of... garbage, you know. And I was like, okay, fuck. So I ended up having to remake a lot of things, like, and I did a lot of my own remixes. I took like Last Resort, like, you know, cut my life into pieces. Like, they wanted that. Like, I figured out that like that and like that song's like, ooh, ah, 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 you know, the like Down with the Sickness and like shit like that. I mean, Green Day, like, I just started figuring out things and getting acapellas to like Fall Out Boy.
I'm trying to remember that era. Yeah, that was that era.
And so I got into shit I didn't even know. Taking Back Sunday, Good Charlotte, like all these songs, and would figure out mixes with that. Would take acapellas, even like the Ramones, like Blitzkrieg Bop,
right?
And then I'd mix in Kanye, a few things, Good Life, or like, you know, do the power clap, hey, you know, try to like do some shit. And when we were in Brooklyn, I did hip hop sets, and it depended where we were. Right. And I really tried to look like in Montreal. I tried to find the bands that were from Montreal, and it actually would get a good reaction. I would notice that.
Nice.
But like, I just, yeah, my set, I definitely developed a good 2000s rock set that I never had before.
Was Limp Bizkit at that time? Or
Yes.
System of a Down.
So yeah, like what was the...
Yeah, System of a Down. Oh, that would kill it. I played that all the time. Yeah. And then, you know, and then I would just try to introduce them to new shit, and I would do shit that I always think that I think is dope, and try to show them DJing. And actually the cool thing would be taking the Ramones, Blitzkrieg Bop, dropping into the acapella loop, putting a halftime hip hop beat, putting the Fall Out Boy over that beat, doing another thing into a thing, you know, like, and then seeing some of the people in the crowd's eyes light up like, oh shit, he's like remixing the music and it's dope, and you know, and they're having fun. And then play Aha, Take On Me. I would try to play fun songs and really mix it up, and play Red Hot Chili Peppers, and you know, just keep the energy up and all that. But I definitely had to be way more energetic myself, and like realize, oh shit, I got to talk to the people in the grass. Like, all the people in the rafters and the grass are my people, you know.
My shit fell. So sorry.
Fucking Jamie. Hey, just leave it on.
I was like, fuck.
It sounds the same. No, yeah. All the people, like, that's also what I learned too, was like, I'd see the other opener bands, and they'd be like, only like, they would almost ignore the people in the front and talk to all the people in the rafters, all the people in the back, the grass, because those were all like the fun people that paid the lowest amount to just come in and have a good time. All the other people are paying all this money for Blink and just standing in front with their arms crossed, like, get out of here, we hate you, you know. So, and then I learned, like, when we were in amphitheaters, like outside type things, where all the people that paid the least were in the like grass in the back. Those were the real fans, right? Yeah, but it was a different vibe. Like when I DJ'd that, than like the arena. We did all these basketball arenas, and it was like, those were way better for me, because it would just be like a full crowd right in front of me, right? And it was so cracking. Or we did like the Joint in Vegas. So much fun, because it was just full front to back right when I went on, and I just got to go crazy. They were super into it, some shit more than others, but you know, I learned a lot. And then I would just get on the mic and just say as much shit as I could, and after a while we just were fucking around. Like by the end, like Mark Hoppus from Blink is like bringing me stacks of tortillas, and they were like calling me Tortilla Boy because I threw out all my shirts and all my merch into the crowd, and I was done. So they were like, "You need other shit to throw out," and they're giving me tortillas. And I was saying, because the people get so hyped, I'm like, I could throw out my Rite Aid receipt, and they'd be like freaking out, you know, like, "Oh my god!" Like anything you're gonna throw out.
Wait. So you're set during the set. You'll be throwing your CDs and your T-shirts out?
Yeah, T-shirts and hats and whatever I had, yeah.
So, like...
That was the most hype they would get.
Yeah. And then, like, halfway... When did you run out of shit?
Towards the end, like, and then so we had these tortillas, and we would just write on them, and I'd throw it like a frisbee, and it would go so far,
and they'd wild out.
And I'd be like, if anyone catches this, you're gonna have the craziest night of your life. Yeah, it was just so stupid. And then we just by the end, I was so comfortable with it. Like I would say whatever, and I could tell if a crowd wasn't into it, I'd be like almost making fun of myself on some like stand up shit, like, hey, okay, like this isn't working out, and then. It was just always different. Like we're in Maine, Bangor, Maine, and they're like the most hyped crowd ever because no one comes there. But then we're in other places and people are just kind of like twiddling their thumbs.
What was like the hardest city to catch a vibe?
Man, there was. I remember saying it about a few places, but I can't remember now. I think maybe like Atlanta. I don't know why.
Really?
There was a few places like that. I don't know.
Like, at what point were you like, okay, I'm starting to understand this? Like a month in, 2 months in?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I would have known more before I came because I would have thought more about a lot of stuff, the merch, even putting out a project. Because I had the opportunity to really promote myself and gain a lot of new fans and followers, and I didn't really think about it. I was just like, I'm going to another gig,
Right.
And I saw how the other bands approached it from and they're bands, but from a business standpoint, and had a project, an album that had come out right before the tour was coming out after, and they had all these things going on during the tour, and they were selling these other things, and
right.
It was just very, they make a lot of money off the merch and the other parts.
If you wanted to, could you have sold your merch?
I did sell my merch, but I didn't sell that much.
It was on sale, but it just didn't make
It was
sense.
on sale.
You had T-shirts or
I
had T-shirts and hats.
Wait,
like
what did it say? Spider on it?
It's a DJ Spider. My shirt had like a logo, kind of like this shirt, just my logo across it. Black shirts. I was only allowed to bring like I think 3 things. Like there was there was rules, like, and it had to be priced the same, and like all this stuff. And then my hat, I think I had like made like a dad hat, and it said like DJ Spider, but like in sign language, hands like at like sewn into it, embroidered or whatever. It was pretty cool, but.
What was the sales report at the end of the tour?
Oh, God. It was like negative. Very far in the negative. People wanted my shit for free real bad. But to pay the money. Also, it's the same price as Blink and all these other bands. So it's like they're already going to spend their money on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't my strongest part of the money income part of the tour.
I just can't believe being on the road for like 4 months or more.
Oh, in a bus too. You know what I mean? Like I would go on Travis's bus sometimes, but I ended up being in this bus called the Ocho. It was the number 8 bus.
The last bus?
And oh my God. I mean, it was on some like, I don't want to get killed, but it was on some like hazing shit where I was like the new guy, because a lot of the people were like the drum tech and the guitar tech and the front of house tech, like that had been with them for like 20 years,
right.
And they knew me, but like I think they tried to kill me with alcohol. And I was like, I can sustain this. You can't kill me.
I'm built for these nights.
How like decked out was like Travis's bus?
Travis's bus is super dope because, he doesn't fly. So he owns a bus. And I think other people rent it. I think even like Steve Aoki and Rihanna, like other people like will rent it from him when he's not on tour. But it's dope. I mean, there's like a bedroom in the back and like these bunks and like a dope kitchen, bathroom. I mean, the bathroom's like nicer than my house bathroom. It was dope. Like the whole thing's dope outside of it. But I ended up being in my bus with the crazy dudes. I mean, it was just a lot of, because we leave, like, You do the show. I would be done every night at like 7:15 p.m. You know what I mean? Which as a DJ is so weird.
Would you chill or what?
That's
would you
the thing. I don't know what to do. Like I would do anything. I mean, I watched all their shows. I would watch all the bands and all the stuff. But I go back to my bus and it depended if I had an after party to go do or where I had to go.
Yeah.
But I would just chill a lot of the time. And then after the show, you know, we have probably 12 semi trucks, like along with the 8 buses.
For
so
the stage and
all
shit,
those
right?
dudes
Yeah.
then go to work, and they had to build the stage. Then they're take it apart, and then we have to be in the next city the next day, and the stage has to be built by whatever time. So, you know, and then we have a 12-hour drive. So they go, they undo everything, and we're just chilling in the parking lot, like getting faded. Basically, that's the only thing to do is like get super faded, unless you're sober, obviously. But like. That's all. It's almost like summer camp because then you're hanging with all the other people that have nothing to do at night. And you're waiting for the guys breaking down the show, and they give you a call time to leave the bus, so you can do whatever you want. But usually we would leave around 2:30 in the morning, and then drive to like Syracuse, you know, and then you'd wake up like 12 hours later, like in Syracuse. But you would just get super faded in the parking lot of wherever we were, then get on the bus, and then have the craziest night ever with everyone drinking and watching movies and punching each other and I don't know, like slamming each other's heads.
Could you do it again?
Doors. I could do it again, yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was super fun. And it was really cool to almost like live the rock star life and, you know, like get a taste because we've done this life, but I had never done anything like that, you know, and I didn't have to make a decision for 3 months. So it was like, someone told me when to wake up and when to go to sleep, basically, like where my room was, where I never thought about anything, you know, and I just had a bag of a few clothes. So I just put on the same clothes all the time. And we had, the best thing was catering, you know, because it's like really good. And they would tell you what to eat. Okay, here's your breakfast, here's your lunch, here's your dinner. And then when we had a night off, they're like, here you go here. So that was nice. Like I never thought, when I got home, I was like, how do I do anything? Like I can't even make a sandwich. But yeah, it was, you know, and just to see how they live and see how and you become super good friends with these people because you're crammed together with them. It's like, that's why I say it's like summer camp, you know. You like, I feel like I know some of these people better than other people I've known for 10 years now, you know.
Wow.
So I don't know how I started talking about that, but the Blink thing.
Yeah.
So Travis had me do we did a thing for Aaron Style where we did a kind of like AM and him used to do where he played drums and I DJ'd, and it was dope. I came up, you know, made a bunch of special edits and blends and just thought of things that would be dope for him to play drums to and me to scratch to, and it would be cool in like a performance setting.
You were doing a bunch of club dates too, right? I know I opened for you at least 2 or 3 times in Vegas with Travis.
But it wasn't always with me DJing and him playing. Sometimes he would play to
he would DJ for himself
mix.
sometimes.
And he would have a thing where he would have 2 turntables and he'd scratch over certain parts, play drums over certain parts, and I would just kind of be there and maybe open or close. But yeah, the last time we did it was like official, you know, like together, which that was so much fun.
That was you the night, I think, when Riff Raff showed up randomly, right? Was that you? It was
maybe
in Vegas, like
at Hyde.
Yeah,
I don't know, probably because I would do all those shows with him. But I think I missed a couple of them. But
he did like Tiptoeing in My Jordans and like some other like.
Oh really? No, I don't think I was there.
Yeah, it was super random. I don't even think Riff Raff was supposed to be there, and he just
that's crazy.
Grabbed the mic and did like a couple songs.
That's so funny.
And he was like wearing pajamas.
That's hilarious.
He had like this big old belly with like this like blonde mullet.
What?
And this is just weird.
Yeah,
and he just started rapping.
He put on mad weight recently, right?
Yeah, but then he like worked out and became like a wrestler or something.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He literally looks like Macho Man Randy Savage right
now.
Yeah.
But he's like a wrestler for real, I think. Or something.
He's not in WWE.
He's something like that.
No, he's not. He's not in WWE. He was supposed to be on there, but
there was something, right?
Yeah.
When I saw him, when he looked like he just had a kid. Like he had like this huge gut. Like it was weird.
That's
fucking
crazy.
Random as fuck. Did you do any DJ AM mixes that he used to do with Travis when you do those things, or?
when I helped him with the mix for his show, yeah, we recreated like Master of Puppets into DMX Party Up and like some of those, and that was pretty fun. Like, and I would listen to the mix and try to like recreate it like in Ableton and then give it to him to be able, because sometimes he would like, he had to perform at like the Firefly Festival or certain things, and I wasn't there, so yeah, I put together some shit he could play over like that, but I didn't do it live. I thought about that. And I don't know, part of me felt weird, and then part of me was like, I don't know, I just didn't end up. I ended up putting together just a whole new thing with a lot of just really new music or other shit I thought people would like.
Well, is there anything you want to touch on or like talk about?
I want to know where the name Spider came from.
You know, I'm a crazy like jail dude that used to fight mad people. You see all my tattoos.
He had the spider web on the elbow.
No, I mean, honestly, I wish I did not have my name as Spider anymore. Like, I wish I could go back in time.
Why?
I don't love Spider as my name anymore. It comes from... Okay, the basic short story was in high school, there was this dude, a bunch of my friends, but this dude, Poncho, we would play basketball, and he'd always be like, pass it to the Spider. And I think like my hair was way longer, and I would bounce around, and I was super skinny and tall, and I think I just looked like a crazy spider. And I'm not good at basketball, so I think I just looked like an idiot. And he'd be like, pass to the Spider all the time. And I remember I got to college, and I started the college radio show, and it's like an underground hip-hop show. And, you know, my real name's Oliver. And they were like, nah, it doesn't sound cool. You know, like, you need a DJ name. And I was like, they're like, what do people call you? I'm like, they call me the Spider. And they're like, all right, you're the Spider. So I just ended up.
Sound like a fucking wrestler.
Yeah, and my show was The Basement with 2 S's, which now randomly E-Rock has a radio show of that. But that was my my show, The Basement, because it was drum and bass mixed with bass, like hip-hop, like stuff. So I thought it was like a cool combo. And I was like,
you was on the radio before?
It was my college radio show.
Radio?
And then I turned it into an online show, and I had this site called thebasement.com, and I did it for like 5 years after college. I wish I was like almost too early. Like if I would keep doing it now, it would have been fine. Mm-hmm. But I just, after a while, I'd be like, I got 42 people listening. You know, like I can't do this anymore. So I stopped doing it. But yeah, it comes from that, you know, and now I'm just DJ Spider. But I feel like there's a DJ Spider in every country and state now.
Have you got an approach like, yo, that's my name, we got to battle for this name? No,
I haven't got approached like, let's battle for the name, but I've got like I was in Hong Kong, or where was I, somewhere, and this dude was like, I'm DJ Spider, Hong Kong, like, and he was like, gave me like his records or something, and I was like, oh, can you change your name? Like, no, nobody, you know. And I've hit up some of the other ones, like the dude that owns like DJSpider.com and stuff, you know. I'm like, let me buy this shit from you. Like, what are you doing, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, damn, I should have spelled it weird. 2 S's.
Or the Y instead of an I.
I guess, but that exists too.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of those. Yeah. Probably even more. So I'm out here though. Spider, DJ Spider. Got my Little John drop still.
Oh shit, that's right.
I think I was the first one with the Little John drop. So
really?
Well, I mean, I got him into DJing. Like he's DJ. He was a DJ back in the day, which I know, but I met him one night. Like you know, if you talk to him, like he'll probably have a good story about it. But I met him in New Orleans. I was DJing the first home game of the Saints since Hurricane Katrina, and they'd reopened the thing.
Yeah.
And I've never watched football in my life. And I remember they took me to the game, and I felt all bad, like I was wasting a seat, you know, because I was like, every time people would cheer, I was like, yeah, like trying to cheer. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. It's like a bunch of dudes. And then I went to the club, and I was like, you know, shit starts super late in New Orleans. And they were like, Little John's here. And I remember I had this mix that I had been doing where I took Snap Your Fingers a cappella, and I put 3 beats under it, and I would put something, and then I would put like Khalees, like I'm Bossy, because it sounded like the bing bing, like I don't know, it sounded good. Mm-hmm. And then I'll cut it, and you know, everyone was playing rock, and I'd play Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me, with like this intro, and the Def Leppard dude would go dun 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 dun, hey, and then the Little John, he'd go hey. hey. So like I remember coming up with it and be like, oh shit, I'm gonna go back and forth, and he was like, hey, and I would scratch a Little John like, hey, with like pour some sugar on me. And I remember they're like, Little John's here. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to do the mix, but he's probably going to think I'm so whack. Like, I don't know. You know, he's not going to want to hear Def Leppard, but fuck it. I'm just going to do this shit. So I remember I did the mix, and his bodyguard came down, and he was like, yo, John wants your info. Like, he thinks you're dope. And I was like, oh, shit, that's crazy. So I give him the info. Done. That's it. I go to the airport the next day, and I see him. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I go over. I'm like, yo. And his bodyguard stops me. And I'm like, no, I'm the dude from last night. And he's like, oh, shit. So we start talking. And John was like, yo, that was dope. I just got Serato. I'm trying to learn this. Will you teach me how to do it? I want to get into DJing. And I was like, yeah. And then I remember having some weird, embarrassing thing where I like walked over and called somebody and was like, I just met Lil Jon. It was so crazy. And then realized he was right next to me and like, and I was like so embarrassed. I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, I just met you. And I'm telling somebody on my sidekick about this. But then I thought nothing of it. I figured he wouldn't hit me up. We got back to LA and he hit me like, yo, I got a house like in Hollywood, come through. And I started coming through all the time and teaching him how to do it. And he was so hyped, like a kid in a candy store like that had just gotten it. So he'd be like, yo, I put this acapella over Red Hot Chili Peppers. Or, you know, he'd be so hyped on his mashups and all the stuff. And
what year was this? Do you remember?
This was 2007 maybe. No, I think it was like, because it was a little bit after that next one. Yeah. I had been doing shit. Like I was that's how I had that New Orleans, and I had been doing stuff already for a minute. And we made 2 mixtapes together. We have these mixtapes called the Rock Box series.
I remember those. Yeah.
I was just cleaning my garage when I found that, and I found this huge box. And one of them is all 80s, and one of them is all rock. And it's him, me and him both DJing, and him on the mic the whole time.
Dude, I totally forgot about this.
Yeah. And then and it was after the Rocket Science that I did with Graham Funky, that mix, and he had like, you know, I don't know, rock was like all big, but so we would do that, and then I was like, yo, I can get you booked if you want to like DJ. And so we started a 4 turntable thing, and we would go. I remember like one of our first gigs, I think, was like the opening of Tao Beach or something. And like the first thing ever, I think. And like, and I remember we said we wanted 4 turntables, and they gave us 2, and it was so awkward. But we would do like, because he wasn't into being on the mic as much for it. Like he was trying to really DJ. So we were just, and I was like, well, just do. And people would sometimes think he was going to do his songs, but it was more like we were trying to do the mashups, and I'd be like, you play, I'm playing. And we did that, and we did some spring break, Rosarito, Mexico, and like, I think we watched some guy get like beat to death or something. I thought we were gonna die there too. Like, I remember they paid us in cash, like all this cash, and then we got in the car, and the driver's like, "Car won't start." And I'm like, oh, this is a setup. And it was like, you know, I'm like, we're about to get killed. Like, this is what you hear about. Like, we're holding all this money, and the guy's like, car won't start. And it's a new car, like the newest car you could get. He's like, won't start. And then next thing you know, people are crowding around the car, and I'm like, oh, we're fucking dead. And then they have the hood open, and then finally some dude was like, oh, the safety thing I was on, I don't know. And he starts it, and then we drove straight to the W in San Diego, like from Mexico. It's like crazy. But yeah, we did that. We had like a little tours, right? It was before he signed with Sujit and Scam, and he was working with like me and my manager. We did like, there's a YouTube video. I made a whole recap of our tour to Chicago and Detroit, and that's where I met Jasmine. You know Jasmine?
Yeah, Madar.
Yeah. So some things probably can't tell on the air here, but I have one of the craziest stories ever from that night that me and Lil Jon came and to that club, and Jasmine was the promoter and like the dude that ran it, and that's I had been coming to that club all the time, and like Trick was the security, and like there's a lot of
dog. Trick is a scary motherfucker in Detroit.
Yes.
the rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the gatekeeper from Detroit. So
yeah, he's the man. But yeah, so like, and Jasmine, you know, that's where I think he knows Lil Jon from and all that stuff. But I remember we did Chicago the first night, then we came and did that, and I brought my boy who lives in Atlanta now, and he came with this dope camera. We filmed the whole thing. I have this whole I found it on YouTube the other day. I was like, holy shit, I forgot about this. But yeah, and then we started doing more and more things, and then I think he signed to Sujit, and it was like I stopped. We never DJ'd together, but we just kind of like, you know, he's still the homie, the homie. But like we still see each other. He's always like, I'll give you credit, man. But like, yeah, now he's killing it.
I never knew that.
Yeah, so random, right?
I remember like the mixtapes, and I remember you guys going on a little tour, and we were like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but it made sense.
Yeah, it did at the time. I mean, those mixes are funny. Like I have them. I'll email it to you. You know, it's like he was putting me on to crazy songs like Bauhaus and all this 80s shit I never knew. He's like, I used to go dance to this in the club. I'm like, oh, you did? Like that's where you got to snap your fingers from. Like,
well, I mean, he was always like fucking with like. I remember he had that song, right? Let's Go. That Ozzy Osbourne sample.
Yeah,
and he was just kind of mixing all of that shit from the beginning. So,
dude, like, he's so smart with that shit, and like knows so much, and is so into it, and is really into. And people would always be questioning it too, like, "Oh, he's whack though, right?" You know, I'm like, no, like he knows what's up. You know, I remember being with him in Miami one night, like on some just like he was just playing everything, old underground house shit and crazy stuff, like all night. We were there till 5, 6 in the morning in some underground little club. But he definitely knows what's up.
Yeah.
That's So Dev Bass All Stars. A lot of that stuff was him too, right? Like from like My Boo and
like I mean, I think he like worked for Jermaine Dupri. Yeah. I remember Jermaine Dupri was at that Tao Beach night, and I remember he was a photographer at the time, and he was like, I'm making a coffee table book. Like he wasn't DJing yet. And like Little Scrappy was there. It was like all this Atlanta. It was Atlanta in the building. And me, the Jewish guy from Santa Monica.
That's funny.
Shit. Is there anything we want to touch on? Or
I'm good.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think I'm. You know, I don't know. Check
you
out.
Want to plug any socials?
You know, shoot. I mean, my website has everything. Just it's djspider.com, except it's spelled DEEJAYSPIDER.com because the other guy won't sell me the DJ Spider.
That sucks.
But on Instagram, it's just normal DJ Spider. But yeah, that has the links to all my stuff. But yeah, find me on Instagram, DJSPIDER, and then I've been doing this a music podcast, not as consistently as you guys, but it's called Selected Eclectic.
It's exhausting.
I know, I'm sure.
It's exhausting,
but yeah, I've been doing that, and then just working on a bunch of other projects that hopefully come to fruition. And
make sure you check out his videos. Hashtag MagLife.
Yeah, check. Everyone talks about Mag. I can work like on these songs forever, 3 months on a remix, and maybe a couple people comment on it, but then I imitate a magazine cover, and it takes me 1 minute in the airport, and people like react to that bigger than anything I've ever done. So I'm like, can I just turn that into my job somehow? Like, how can I monetize this?
You've been doing that for years.
Forever.
Now. Forever.
Well, it all came about because on Vine, like Vine came out, and I remember trying to film like a reaction video. Like I was in Vegas, you know that stupid store in the airport where they have like underwear with like things written on it, you know, it'd be like a boxer shorts with like home of the Whopper like above like your dick or something, you know, or it'd be like girls like lingerie with like a stupid thing, just like one of those horrible like Vegas kind of stores. Right. I remember going in and filming the like underwear and then trying to make a reaction face, and I'm like, this will be funny, and then they kicked me out. They were like, no, you can't do that in here. And I was like, okay. And I went by that magazine store and I saw a couple funny pictures, so I tried to imitate those, and then people were like, oh, that shit, that's funny. So, and I was on Vine trying to create little content with it, and so I did more and more, and then Instagram came out with the video thing, and it was 15 seconds, and I was like, oh shit, it's made for this. So I started doing it, and then I was like, I need a hashtag, so I put DJ. If you type in DJ Spider MagLife like as a hashtag, you'll find, I probably think I have like 200 of them now, which is crazy. I want to make a YouTube video and just make them all go in a row and see how long it is, like 32 minutes of just my stupid face silent making faces.
I always thought, how the fuck do you do that without, like, how many times have people just looked at you like, what the fuck are you doing?
They all look at me like, what the fuck are you doing? I've been approached only twice though. There was like in Reno airport, like the person in the back was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, she's like, I don't like what you're doing. And I was like, you don't even know what I'm doing. And she's like, you can't do that in here. I was like, yes, I can. And I go, look, I'm imitating the magazine cover and sending it to my friend. Like, I didn't want to explain the whole thing. Right. And she's like, I don't want to see, just get out of here. And I was like, and then so I tried to keep doing it, but she like stood all close to me with like her arms crossed. And I was like, all right, this sucks. And then another one, they were like, are you okay, sir? I'm like, yeah, I'm just doing
I'm just doing the face that The Rock's doing on this magazine.
I know. I just, yeah. I mean, people look at me weird, but I figure, whatever. I'm just in here fucking around, trying to make people laugh. It's just become the thing now. Like, and people are like, how do you edit it? What do you do? What do you put into it? I'm like, I literally push Instagram. I open it and go to the video page, and then you just hold down the button to film something. That's it. And then change the camera to your own face. So I just like film the magazine and then put on my face. And then that's it. Back and forth. I'm done in like 1 minute. And I push post. Because people are like, you must spend time. I'm like, no. If I spent time, I would not do it.
You'd be stuck at the airport all day.
Yeah. Now when I have a delay, I'm like, fuck it. I'll do another one. Create that content. I got people hitting me like, you need to do voiceovers, bro. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll try that. But yeah, I mean, it all. And then once Instagram hit the 1 minute mark, I was like, I don't know if I can do a whole minute of this. But that's endless.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
But yeah, peep that out and try to get me a show on Netflix because of it. So
let's do that.
That's why I do those corporate events. One day I'm gonna just do a face. Just do a show of my face, making stupid faces.
Good luck with that. Yo, Spider, thanks for coming through, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it. Good luck with that traffic, by the way.
Oh, man. Back home, man. It's all good.
God bless you.
I'll listen to your podcast the whole way.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.